My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we head to Sydney Motorsport Park and the 2018 edition of the Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge, as the world's best drivers and tuning houses do battle against each other and against the clock for that one perfect lap. Then we return to Lakeside Park in Brisbane for our continued Round 3 coverage of the Hi-Tech Oils Australian FX Superbike Championship, featuring all the major supports action. This is Speedweek.
Hello and welcome to Sydney, Australia for the 2018 Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge presented by Track Warrior. The weather conditions, mean that clearing in the afternoon. We've had some overcast and rainy conditions, but that is all looking good for the future. Fantastic to see not only drivers from here all over Australia, but all over the world. Teams from not only Singapore, Canada and Switzerland, and of course Japan, but we've got drivers coming in from all over the world as well. Hello, my name's Chris Diggles, and joining me today, the CEO of World Time Attack, the man that started it all, Ian Baker.
Yeah, thanks Chris. It's great to be up here in the commentary box with you this year after 10 long years of this madness.
Let's have a look at that track right now, wet or dry. Here it all is here. One of the best corners in Time Attack history is Armando Corner, of course, turn 1. You can gain quite a few tenths of a second through that corner if you want to hold the speed. Now, turn 2, as you can see there, tight hairpin. Again, you've got to get the car set up nicely for it to turn in and get the power back out. Turn 3 transitions from there, turn 4. So aero through those particular areas there, probably very low speed aero, still important. Now through turn 5 up to turn 6, powering up the hill there. And we go left to turn 7, turn 8, to turn 9, very, very important, 10 and 11 and onto the main straight. I know that the track conditions aren't as ideal as what we saw last year. We know traditionally the first morning sessions of both Friday and Saturday were the magic time that the laps went down, but you just got to throw it all up in the air and just make 2018 one of these events that we do not know what's going to happen. One guy that's going to at least help us get through what's going to happen is one of our great pit reporters, George Madecki, down in the pits. And Georgie, what have you got for us? You better keep us informed.
Well, thanks, Diggs. Welcome, everybody, to Pit Lane. I'm George Madecki, and I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to meet all your favourite drivers, your favourite cars, and most importantly, some of the builds that are going on and what exactly is happening down here at World Time Attack. Now, obviously, as you can see, a little bit wet out there today. That plays a huge part on the way the cars are being driven, the way the cars are being set up, and obviously the speed they're producing. So we're not seeing a whole lot of the Pro Class cars out there at the moment. Obviously, RP968 making a huge effort to fix their car after yesterday. They're having some engine dramas, so a bit of success there. But it's going to be a story that will develop across the day. So certainly something I'm looking forward to, something I'm looking forward to bringing to you guys, and some special stories. And a huge welcome to Courtney McColgan.
And there's plenty of action off track as well here at the Shannon Stylised Modified Car Show. Every single car here has been selected by the team at Downshift because of their uniqueness and their appeal. There's Euro cars, JDM, some American muscle. We're just about to start the rev battles as well, which is essentially a sound off from the engine bay. There's plenty of other action I'll be bringing you as well later on from the drift pits. We've got autograph signings, there's the Motorsport Legends display, and of course the Trader Alley. All right, guys. back to you.
Well, Friday, traditionally our first day of World Time Attack, met with wet weather, and unfortunately that means very interesting story on track, off track of course. All the colour still exists at Sydney Motorsport Park. And have a look at this, the amazing TRV03 HKS car. More about that later. Let's get into V-Sport Club Sprint category, and essentially this is our entry level category, Ian.
Yeah, these cars are very limited in what the modifications they can do, but let me tell you, there's still some crazy cars out there, and over the years, it's just got more and more serious. They're limited in aerodynamics and weight reduction, but the engine modifications are unlimited, and so you still see some crazy builds out there. This is actually a semi-works Hyundai with the reigning champion, Jordan Cox. So Hyundai have come on board with a company called Street FX to build a car, and it was quite incredible the times this car got down to. You know, it's essentially a virtually standard car that they were forced to put a roll cage in it, was that fast.
That's how quick it is. Hyundai shaking it up here at World Time Attack. On screen now, of course, Daniel Burton, the S2000, a traditional rear-wheel drive heavyweight, and he was to feature well in the results on day one. As you can see, dry conditions for this particular session. The elusive racing Honda Integra for Brett Dickey, struggling to get all that Honda power down, but geez, the front-wheel drive Hondas are always a threat here at Sydney Motorsport Park, and Dickey up in the top 5 so far. Hey, the Harrop car, nice one here.
Yeah, Ben Schutz, he's competed here many times before. He's actually finished on the podium in a Z06 Corvette for Harrop. This is Jason Nadeau, another long-time competitor, goes right back to the early Super Lap days at Oran Park. I think he's competed every single year.
And now a little bit of Euro here. I tell you what, the Hyundais, they might be nipping at the heels of these sorts of cars here. Muggleton in the VW Golf just goes to prove the variety in here, including a Monaro with some tyre issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, I believe they struggled to get on top of that on day one. I mean, that's a high-powered car, very heavy car. But I believe by day two they got on top of it. Once again, Hondas have always featured in this class. Honda's always been a strong brand, and they've finished on the podium many times.
Yeah, Stephen won. Very, very competitive on day one with the BYB Racing and Development Honda Civic. Link ECU Open Class. Now, this is where the beasts start to really grow some wings, Ian.
Yeah, this is the class that everyone's talking about this year. These cars have really stepped it up this year. Many of these cars are now running bespoke billet engines, sequential transmissions with paddle shift, and this one here in particular, this is the car that everyone wants to see. Bo Yates has turned his drift car into an absolute work of art time attack car. We've flown out the best in the business, Keiichi Tsuchiya, to drive it. This guy's famous for driving these cars, and it's probably the best example of that vehicle in the world.
Adam Kazmiri, well, he won it last year, and here we are in different conditions. Too much horsepower on board. Talk about too much horsepower. This guy, Matt Longhurst, 1,000+ horsepower. Oh, lost it before he gets down into the hairpin of turn 9, and geez, you wouldn't want someone flying over the top there to collect you. Entrant 38 did pretty well there as well. Of course, that amazing Toyota 86.
Yeah, this is Nathan Morecambe. He's an ex-McLaren driver, really at the top of his game, and I think he actually set the fastest time at one stage on the Friday.
And another 86, but this one, of course, the engine transplants are allowed in open air.
Yeah, that's right. That's an ex-Chris Forsberg engine out of his drift car. It's a VK56. I'd say it's somewhere around the 800 horsepower mark.
I'd say this has nearly got the same amount. So Adam Kazmiri coming through Armando. This car, though, with the drying track conditions, very lethal. And how about this former Super Lap winner, Johnny Bosson, at the inaugural one at Oran Park. He's here with this Extreme GTR this weekend.
And that car really needs to be seen in person. It is a work of art.
Oh, Robert Gurley. Gurls has been around for a long time with us too. And this one, another one with a bespoke billet engine, that amazing Evo Lancer, just finding the outer parts of Sydney Motorsport Park. Speaking of that, let's go on a flying lap with Adam Kazmiri, two-time Open Class winner in the JDM Yard Honda Civic.
Yeah, these guys are an incredible team, Chris. You know, Kazmiri, he's been around here as many times as anyone. They've just gone through a 1:27.75. You know, to put that into perspective, that's way under a V8 supercar lap time, and they're in a front-wheel drive Honda on road tyres.
The results after day one here for Link ECU Open Class. Adam Kazmiri, Nathan Morecambe, Josh Coote, yes, that is indeed, Stephen Johnson and Matt Longhurst. Now let's take it to a next level of crazy, the Royal Purple Pro-Am class.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. These guys are the big guns. This is the big hitters, lightweight carbon composite cars with big aero, big horsepower, paddle shift transmissions, and still running on the Advan AO50 tyre. This year we saw the biggest field ever come from overseas. We had teams from Switzerland, from Singapore, Canada, and of course Australia.
And of course amateur drivers too, so some crazy cars, these changing conditions. It's going to be a real amazing session.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. The big attraction with this thing is that you can build a car that the big guys build, and you're not up against guys like Warren Luff and Tim Slade, where it's almost impossible to compete because the professional driver will always be faster.
Oh, look, a little bit of windscreen issues there for Olivia Merlini, our Swiss driver. A huge variety of vehicles appearing in the Pro-Am category, or in car for the Vibrant Performance team from Canada. Some issues, Ian.
Yeah, these guys are the fastest team from North America. They're actually a Canadian-based team, but it's not uncommon. These guys are really pushing the boundaries of what these engines are designed to do, and you're going to expect problems.
Yeah, the K24 Honda in that Civic getting a swap, and some great news for about Olivia Merlini, all the way from Switzerland, and a big story on her, Ian.
Yeah, she's a really interesting team. She's actually built that car. She's a tuner. She runs the dyno at the little shop in Switzerland, and they built that car especially to come out here and compete.
Eddie Young, very similar story from Singapore. They built this car over there, and look at this one. This is the Tilton Evo, driven by Costa the Boss.
This guy, he's been around since day one. He was the first guy ever to build a car to compete in our very first Super Lap event. With Garth Walden, they've had a triple Pro Class champion, and there he goes. He just went through a 1:25.88 in Pro-Am. A couple of short years ago, that would have won this event outright.
Incredible car, incredible category, and Armando Corner. Oh, Costa pushing so hard through turn one. Here's how the results ended up after day one. The wildest cars in Time Attack, the Royal Purple Pro Class. These machines are the ultimate, Ian.
Yeah, this is the big guns. This is where it all happens. Carbon composite bodies, lightweight build construction, billet engines, the best drivers, the whole lot. This is as good as it gets. And they also run nitrous oxide oil.
Here we are, the wet conditions on Friday. Barton Mawer out early with the RP968. With all that aero in the world, sometimes a wet track doesn't mean you can use all of it. Fyrando with that four-wheel drive Evo Lancer, though, in drying conditions, started to get his mojo going. Considering this isn't his home track, it's far from it. He did pretty well on his first few laps in this session. How awesome does the body kit look on that Evo?
The other thing with that, Chris, that car was delayed. The freight was delayed on that vehicle due to typhoons, and it actually arrived this morning. So they've had no practice. They've literally pushed out a container, they've put the wheels on it, and they're out on the track. So 10 points to them.
All right, we're on board with Warren Luff in the MCA Hammerhead. Now look at the aero and the grip levels on this car. Look at the reservoirs for the clutch and brake there. No fluid, then some fluid, then it's almost upside down through turn 9. So much power on this changing track on Friday.
Yeah, this car is, it's a remake of their original one. Murray Coote's been doing this for many years. He does it all by the seat of his pants, and man, what a show.
Great lap from Luffy on top after day one with a minute 22.26. Behind him, Barton Mawer in the RP968 and Fyrando in third. Well, whilst the weather is throwing us a curveball or two here at Sydney Motorsport Park, we'll be back after the break to show you even more of the crazy event that is the Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge, presented by Track Warrior.
One of the things that is common up and down pit lane is every single competitor that is racing in the 2018 Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge has to use these Yokohama tyres, the A050 Advan tyre. So the tyre decisions actually begin very, very early on in the design of a car. So the size of the tyre, the width, so what you can see here is limited based on the mass of the car when it's final sky. So any car over 1,001 kilos, they get to use a 295mm tyre, whereas any car below 700 kilos has to use a 205mm wide tyre. So one of the unique things with the tyres that we use at the World Time Attack Challenge is that they're obviously not slick tyres like we have in other categories. So what you can see here is lots of grooves, and that adds a challenge to the engineers who are trying to maintain and monitor the car's performance. Tyre temperatures are a critical thing for achieving as much grip as possible. But these blocks in between the grooves, they shift around under the enormous pressures and loads that the lateral accelerations and the longitudinal accelerations these cars generate. So monitoring those temperatures is really important. And how do they do that? Well, when the cars come into the pit lane, they'll use monitor gauges like this, and they'll just stab the tyre across and take temperature measurements, as well as measure the pressures at the end of the run. So this is a really important thing for managing the tyre performance and trying to get the maximum out of the tyre.
The beautiful Sydney Motorsport Park precinct, the home of the Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge presented by Track Warrior. The pit walk happening right now, Ian Baker. This is a great opportunity for the fans.
This is a really popular part of the event, you know. It's all about getting up close and being able to communicate with the drivers and the builders and ask questions and get your photo taken, and you know, not many other events you can do this style of thing and have a good look at the cars, you know, that you see them around the track. You can get up close and talk to the owners, talk to the drivers and get your photo taken. This
is the slowest these cars will go all weekend, but that's the best opportunity for fans to sample the engineering. People are drawn to the engineering as this event continues to evolve every year. And Ian, here's a couple of heavyweights on screen right now.
Yeah, that's Rod Pobostek, the builder and creator of the RP968, talking to Will or Young from Canada.
Yeah, an amazing opportunity. You don't get too many other events anywhere in the world where you can get up close and personal with cars from right around the universe of Time Attack here in Sydney, Australia. All our show and shine area was absolutely abundant, full of amazing builds. And how about this, an engine sound-off? That's my kind of sound-off, Ian.
Yeah, the downshift guys did a great job of putting this all together. They really captivated the car culture that's so strong in Australia.
The aftermarket industry is indeed booming in this country because guys are inspired from what they see at these events. Truly amazing creations right around the park.
Yeah, there's always so much to see and do here, Chris. The traders and the entrance and the car show, everyone puts so much effort in for this one big show.
And it's so good when the rain goes away momentarily like we've got right now on screen, and this was a great opportunity. You don't get to meet these guys all in one place too often.
These are the rock stars, these guys. Keiichi Tsuchiya, Tarzan Yamada, Fire Ando, Nob Taniguchi, they're all the guys that these kids would have seen. A lot of the younger kids would have seen these guys only on DVDs that they've watched, and now they're out here signing books for them. By the way, that book's available online, oneperfectlap.com, The Wild History of World Time Attack Challenge.
And I tell you what, I think I want Santa Claus to bring me one of those for Christmas. What a great read. Well, the Turbo Smart Flying 500 Workshop Battle, Ian. This is where some of the baddest boosted cars try their luck over 500 metres, see who is the fastest.
Yeah, this is where it starts at 1,000 horsepower, Chris, and goes up from there. We work with Turbo Smart every year. They hand select a bunch of what they believe to be the fastest street cars in the country, and we put them down the main straight to see who can get the highest top speed, which is indicative of horsepower.
The Flying MR2 turbocharged comes through, and of course we measure the speed by a radar gun, and a lot of these guys are approaching 220, 250, some of the quick ones. Nathan Ferrugia there with that twin turbo big block Camaro, rear wheel drive, probably not an ultimate advantage, but so much heavy equipment out there, 1,000+ horsepower street car, and even the Drag Evos, the mixed motorsport car, been a long contender for the Flying 500s that he's competed at. It's not just running in a straight line, these things are wild, out of control.
Yeah, that's a previous winner of the Flying 500. This car here was very wild to watch.
Yes, the GTR Godzilla, almost the perfect drag weapon on an unprepped surface. You know, ultimately they love full sticky straights, but you just can't get that sometimes. So they do the best they can.
They certainly are hard to beat, Chris, and this was the eventual winner.
Yeah, the GTR Skyline, a great advantage there. And look, the 86, everyone that ran in this particular category all got themselves over 200k now, some of them towards 250, 260.
That was another, that was well over 1,000 horsepower VR38 in that one. So these guys, Chris, these are the drift cars. We bought these cars from all around the world, some of the best in the world, for what we're introducing this year, and a new concept that we think is going to be very successful, the International Drifting Cup presented by Garrett Advancing Motion. That's Fanger Dan there. These cars are once again all 1,000 horsepower, and they're going to go door handle to door handle tonight and tomorrow night up in turns 10, 11 and 12, and we expect a hell of a show. These guys are crazy. Just watch some of this footage.
amazing skill, and you know what, drifting is an international motorsport, and that's why the Drifting Cup has got legs, no doubt about it. A wild variety of different vehicles, V8 6-cylinder, there may be the odd turbo 4-cylinder there, and I know there's a nasty V12 in there somewhere, including, what about Bo the Show, 2J powered.
I can't believe he's still got his eyes over, Chris. That guy has worked 24 hours a day to put that car together for a KE, and here he is out in his own car, you know, it's amazing.
These cars very, very spectacular during the day, and even at night, even double.
Now this is a car that everyone wants to see. Unfortunately, it was delayed by shipping delays as well from the typhoons. It's a HKS, what they call a TRB03. It was built to break the record at Tsukuba Circuit, and they decided to bring it out here. It runs on a slick tyre, unlike our cars, the Time Attack cars, but it's exceptionally fast around Tsukuba. It was always going to be a bit of a challenge at Sydney Motorsport Park, as it doesn't have the horsepower. It still runs the original FA20 engine, which is a long way from a ultra high performance billet engine like what the pro cars are running, but it was incredible to see this car around here. Once again, they had no setup time, so you know, hats off to those guys.
Well, you'd only be able to go to Japan to see the HKS flagship, but here at Sydney Motorsport Park at Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge, it's an absolute treat for the fans to see this vehicle. Of course, a lot of hype when this car got built, a lot of engineering in there. Of course, Andrew Brilliant from A&B Aero got the job to do the aero for the car, and it's an amazing vehicle to see in the flesh. The engineering, you've got to appreciate, is just truly amazing from HKS.
Yeah, and HKS have been a flagship brand, a Japanese tuner brand for many years, so to see them involved in this sort of thing is just fantastic.
Oh, wild motorcycle on track now. Ian Baker, you love bringing cool stuff to World Time Attack. What's this?
Yeah, this is the PGM V8. This is essentially an Australian-made V8 motorcycle, and the guys from Harrop told me all about it and put me in touch with a guy, and they said they would like to put it on display, and then when they mentioned we could maybe put it on the track, so we found three-time Australian Superbike champion Sean Giles and said, how'd you like to have a go? The thing's got well over 300 horsepower, so just listen to it.
Amazing Aussie engineering. Doesn't matter whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels. You'll see the most amazing engineering feats here at Sydney Motorsport Park for Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge.
And talking about interesting machinery, this is a really good initiative by Volkswagen Australia, where they've got their apprentices to build a Volkswagen Amarok V6 and try and beat the lap time of what their GTI Golf does, which is incredible, and they've managed to do it. They've got Renato Liberto behind the wheel this year, who's a long-time friend of ours and been around here many times. He's actually taken me for a lap in an F40 round here in the past.
Incredible that an Amarok can go sub 2 minutes here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Now with 580 Newton metres of torque, I noticed Volkswagen's put on the side. And how about the Arteon? Now this thing's a full Volkswagen luxury machine, super heavy but making plenty of horsepower. And how about that great street art put on the Arteon? Yeah. Great initiative as well.
Yeah, it's a rocket. And Renato was telling me how good it is to drive. You know, like this is a really good initiative by Volkswagen, getting all their apprentices involved, and you know, it gives them something to look forward to and something to be a part of. You know.
And isn't it amazing that even the Arteon on W went sub 2 minutes here at Sydney Motorsport Park? Well, from modern to retro, let's go for a blast back to the past, Ian Baker, this amazing rolling museum.
Yeah, over the years, Chris, we've had some really cool stuff here. That's one of the original Group A Supras there. Smithy comes every year. A whole bunch of cool stuff. They just get out and let it hang out and give the fans a chance to see the cars that you never normally get to see.
And of course in Australia we're very, very blessed to have our motorsport heritage brought up with, you know, everything from our domestic product to our imported vehicles all on the same track at the same time. That's what we grew up with, the Australian Touring Car Championship and the like, where we saw things like Nissans and Mazdas and Toyotas very early in the piece. Well, I couldn't say we've had a break during the midday mayhem. It's back into the V-Sport Club Sprint class and some highlights here. Huge one for David Lordy, and that's a tragedy.
Yeah, speaking to a lot of these guys, they come in here today, which is Saturday after a wet Friday, and everything's set on kill. And, you know, poor David Lordy and the Tune House team. Jamal Assad here, another one. You know, they're pushing so hard that these incidents are just unavoidable.
Yes, the attrition rate on Saturday was a little bit higher than Friday. You could probably blame the final weather on Saturday for everyone pushing hard now that the track's actually a lot drier than it was with those inclement conditions on Friday. Everyone was pushing hard, including Brett Dickey through Armando. Now the elusive racing Honda Integra pushing towards the top of the rankings on Saturday now that the track is dry. And even Jordan Cox pushed harder with that Hyundai on Saturday, but couldn't improve, would you believe, from Friday.
Yeah, I think they've found the limits for that car. Jordan Cox gets on pretty quick. You know, he's done a lot of racing, and while he's not a pro driver, he's right up there. And you know, I think Jason Nadeau, he's another long-term competitor. His car's known as Badass, and it's been around since 2008. I think he's not missed one event since 2008. So
10 years of club sprint, and it's been so good to see all the various platforms reach their advantages and disadvantages. The club sprint results after Saturday's session. Stephen Wan still ahead with the BYP Racing Civic. Jimmy 2 in the Team EXE Evo 9, and Brett Dickey in the Elusive Racing Honda Integra. Link ECU Open Class. Great highlights to show you here, folks, including this man, Stephen Johnson. That's right, former V8 supercar heavyweight, and of course his father from great stock, Dick Johnson. Here he is, still very eager in the pits to see how his son is going in this amazing world best technology R33 GTR, pushing so hard, buried in the minute 30 point somethings, and then uncorks an amazing minute 29 4:16 to get himself into that super lap shootout a little bit later on. So good to see. He had a great battle there for Johnny Boston in the battle of the GTRs, and then this man, how about it? A time attack will not be complete without Tarzan Yamada driving the X-Jun Hyper Lemon. Now, the reason why this amazing 350Z looks so squirrely is that it actually did have four-wheel drive running gear in it. They took the front drive shafts out to make it a rear-wheel drive car, and he had all sorts of issues. But what about this man, the great Kiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King, in the amazing Bo Yates Toyota 86, set up to run full time attack trim. And no doubt we'll see Bo, the show, in this car somewhere in the future, but still no slouch. Minute 35 for the Drift King with this amazing car he had not seen until this event. So good to see. But look, issues for Johnny Boston in his pursuit to try and make it into a top 5 position. He only had to find a 10th and a half to get into that top 5. But look, issues for the GTR, peeling the tape back. So hopefully, if there is a fire under there, the fireys can get to it. This man, the class of the field though, Adam Kazmiri, no better than this car, the JDM Yard Hard Race Honda Civic, packing that Honda K-Series on board, the best lap, a minute 27.750. Josh Coote, minute 28.459. Matt Longhurst, minute 28.665. Nathan Morcom, minute 28.797. Stephen Johnson in for the shootout at a minute 29.416. Well, Saturday saw the Royal Purple Pro-Am class with a dry track and everyone setting their cars up for kill.
Yeah, Cersei Zelli was unfortunately the first casualty. These guys blew their engine up and they had very limited resources, only 1 or 2 mechanics with them. They put a shout out over Facebook and they had 40 mechanics turn up to help them change the engine.
Oh, the power of social media gets engines changed.
It's the power of Australian passion for this sort of stuff too.
This was an all too common occurrence, engine swaps here at Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge. Pro-Am class was no different, as they were feverishly trying to get this engine out and another one in. And that's just what Saturday was all about for a few of these teams. Now that the track was dry, they could use every part of the grip that those Yokohama 8050s have. And of course all the horsepower everyone's packing, and of course the aero. Here's Costa, the Tilton Evo principal, and he's really getting a grip on the car. In fact, on this flying lap, goes better. So much venom out of this car, 1,000 plus horsepower, and Kostya Porikov flies through to lower the Pro-Am mark again to minute 24.63.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. You know, this car's been around forever in so many guys, and to see Costa come through with that, that's just incredible.
Now, of course, they went now to put the full boost and power in here to see whether or not he could beat Garth Walden's outright time.
Yeah, he's never driven the car with full boost, and let me tell you, it's an animal.
Flies through Armando with all that new power through. Oh, a little bit squirrely through Armando. He's out over the ripple strip. Oh no, Costa into the wall. Big hit for the iconic Evo. Huge incident there at turn 1. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chris, with these aero cars, once they get off balance, there's no catching it.
Oh, just squirreling through the apex at Armando, over the ripple strip, loses all the aero that keeps these cars stuck to the ground, and bang! So he radios through to the pits to say he is A-OK, but a huge incident there for Costa after just resetting the Pro-Am marks.
Here we go, William Orr Young, all the way from Canada. He's on kill now.
Well, swapped engines yesterday.
Transmissions today, and he's back out there.
That is one amazing Honda, the ultimate front-wheel drive time attack car. Costa's still on top, but you'd have to say that's it for the car for the rest of the event. William in the vibrant Honda Civic second, Cersei third. Traditionally, the Royal Purple Pro Class, Saturday morning first session, always quick. If this is the time to do it, right now, so far, Luffy has been the quickest in this last sector. The RP968 still quicker in the first two, but this lap, Luffy goes minute 21, 398 to be on the top of the pops.
Yeah, they're still having a little bit of dramas with that car, but he's starting to get a hold of it now, and yeah, who knows?
The response from Barton Mawer, huge through Armando, sparks, everything. You don't get a car more planted than that through that high-speed kernel.
Yeah, this is a car that everyone's been waiting to see, and, you know, I think this year these boys are on song. It's a real credit to Rod Povestek and the whole RP968 crew. Barton Mawer, one of the most undersung drivers in Australia. PR technology, all the guys involved in this car are real top-notch, you know.
An absolute master in engineering. This is one of the baddest time attack cars you'll find anywhere in the world.
I would go so far as to say it would be #1 in the world right now. Looking at this lap, I think they're going to smash that record out of the ballpark, Chris.
It's got that billet 4-litre Thor engine from Finland on board, and it is singing a song that is really giving Barton Mawer the perfect platform. Now, this is an important corner. Up till now, he's been quicker than Luffy. From here on, Luffy's been quicker in the Hammerhead, so it's how much power they can get down in this sector that's going to put him in front of Luffy's minute 21, 398. I love the response sometimes in these pro categories.
I'm predicting a sub-20 here, Chris.
The car looked very clean. The way it came through Armando was absolutely epic. All the power in now. He's got nothing else to do other than put one more gear down. It's all now in the lap of the goal. It says Barton Mawer done enough. He's done it. Minute 19. First minute 19 ever in time attack history. They've done it. #1.
And what a credit to those guys. They've worked so hard for 4 years to put this together, and they've finally strung it together. And you know what, Chris? I can tell you now, that car's not even on maximum power. So, you know, who knows where it's going to go in the future.
One of the best stories of the event, I think, Ian. Now, what were you doing here? Of course, Firerando had issues with a medical condition with his hands. He couldn't get enough, with the air on the car, enough power to steer it. So next thing you know, you decided to get Under Suzuki involved.
Yeah, so poor old Under Suzuki never finished his car this year. He's built a whole new car to compete at the top level, and Ando had a hand injury that put him out of the event. So we went down and said, you know, let's put Suzuki in the car, you know, and he was really receptive to it. So there was a lot of paperwork to do, and because he wasn't even a registered driver, and you know what a spirited Japan story that is. That's true samurai spirit right there, Chris.
That's true. That's true, Ian Baker right there, getting Team Japan to the top. And tell you what, wasn't this an amazing story? The crowd went nuts when Under Suzuki came out, and you know what? He's never driven an Evo before. And you know what? The track wasn't even ideal. It was sprinkling at this time.
It was insane, Chris, I tell you.
You're on board with Under Suzuki's first ever laps in an Evo time attack car, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever driven a four-wheel drive car before.
Oh, Under! Oh my goodness, Under Suzuki finding the limits. You can see Under, he's gone around, he's looped it. Well, I mean, that's beginner's luck. I mean, he's never been in the car before. It is a little bit of a wet track. Firerando looking on. I'm sure he wouldn't like Under to bend it. But he's clapping, saying, nice save, Suzuki-san.
I tell you, this would have gone viral throughout Japan, Chris, on the live stream. You know,
All right, now Under, still with rain sprinkling across the windscreen. Now, how do you approach Armando corner in these conditions? I'd say for Under, very carefully. There you go, rolls off the throttle, gears down a little bit, just going to take it, get a feel for it. Now, remember, that was the first hit out there. The showers came over in the afternoon. How's this for a reaction?
yeah.
The Pro Class, Barton Mawer, minute 19.825. Warren Luff, minute 21.398 in the Hammerhead. And Firerando / Under Suzuki, Team Japan, minute 31. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we're into the Newlon Super Lap Shootout at the Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge presented by Track Warrior here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Well, we've just about seen it all, but not the lot. The Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge here at Sydney Motorsport Park. We've had rain, we've had sun, we've had incidents and accidents, magic moments, Ian Baker.
Yeah, these two guys, you know, look at the crowd around them. It's just incredible. The comradeship, you know, that he couldn't get his car, and he couldn't drive, so he let under Suzuki drive. It's just amazing.
The Newlon Super Lap Shootout is where we take our top 5 competitors from each category and give them one more opportunity to put in a perfect lap. And we'll be seeing that all the categories, starting with V Sport Club Sprint. Now, Jason Naidoo finished outright 7th, but because we had no Jamal Assad and Stephen Wan able to contend because they had been out with breakage, Jason gets a chance. He's got to actually literally go minute 40 point something. Up till now, it's been minute 41.274 for him, but as you can see, not going to be a contender, you would say. But look, in the Super Lap Shootout, puts down his final lap, and minute 44.343 for him. That's the end of his 2018 campaign. It's been so good to have him here in V Sport Club Sprint again. All right, coming up next, Robert Murray, the Murray Racing Evo. Same deal, finished 6th outright, but because of no Jamal and no Stephen Wan, he's going to have a real red hot crack at it. Now again, he will have to go minute 40 point something. His PB of the weekend so far has been a minute 41.076. But you know what, it's not just making up the numbers. We have seen this happen before in Super Lap Shootouts, and someone jag a big number.
Yeah, Super Lap Shootouts is where it can just come out of nowhere. You know, these guys can muck about all day and then turn everything on kill because, you know, this is the last chance. So you never know. This Rob Murray, he's a good operator too. You know, he's out of Queensland, and yeah.
Not a bad one for mid. Now Brett Dickey, now he's 3rd out in the Super Lap Shootout. So Dickey, he could be swinging for the fences here. You know what, with the one last lap, why wouldn't you just put an extra few pounds of boost in it? Just attack the corner a lot harder than normal. He's through Armando, no problems there. We've seen him push through there all weekend in that Integra. That's a very impressive Integra, sporting plenty of horsepower.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really smart guys on this car. I've seen David Flood down there in that garage, and Scotty Cooner's doing the tuning. Nothing would surprise me with this car. Would not surprise me at all if they pull a cat out of the bag here.
So 3rd outright so far, Brett Dickey. Do we get a Super Lap Shootout success story? We love it if it can happen. Dickey pushing so hard on this lap, and as we said, the track conditions you couldn't say are any more perfect than right now. The sun is out, the track is dry, and Brett Dickey looking at the Sector 1. Well, he's very, very close. He could very much make an impact here. The next few corners will be make or break, you would think.
Yeah, no, this guy's a seasoned operator too, you know. He's not a professional driver, but he's been racing sports sedans a long time, and he knows his way around a racetrack. So, you know, if anyone's the one to watch in this class, it'll be him right now.
All right, Dickey comes into the hairpin. Only a couple of corners left to go here. He's been pretty good so far. Let's see if we can get this second sector time through. The lights up now. Oh, look at that. So close. If he can just throw everything at the next 2 corners, Brett Dickey might just jump a spot or 2 here.
I think they're going to do it, Chris. I think they'll do it.
Could he make podium here, Brett Dickey? Could he be at the top of the podium? Let's see. Very clear through there. It's all or nothing right now. That's what we love about the Newlon Super Lap Shootout. Dickey, nothing more to do than just take it to the finish line. Dickey, wow! Brett Dickey, number 1.
That's the fastest front-wheel drive club sprint class ever around there, Chris.
Minute 38.756, the crew. Well, there we are.
Ecstatic.
They certainly are unbelievable lap. That's what Super Lap dreams are made of.
Yeah, like I said to you, Chris, you never know when that Super Lap Shootout can come out of nowhere, you know.
Daniel Burton, 4th outright, the Team Burton Racing S2000. And isn't it amazing? We've just seen a front-wheel drive Integra go to the top. What about the S2000, the rear-wheel drive platform? Still no less deficient in a variety of areas.
Yeah, looking through these timesheets, I don't think anyone's going to challenge that elusive racing team right now. I think they've got that in the bag now.
Well, Burton will have to go way quicker than his best of a minute 40.187. Here's his final shot at it in the Super Lap Shootout. Goes a minute 40.468. So just a couple of tenths off his best so far of the weekend. So he won't be a player on the podium, unfortunately, with that. But Brett Dickey, what a big moment for him. That is the lap of the weekend in Club Sprint. That's my money.
Yeah, there's Dave Flood. He's put a lot of work into that car. He's been around a long time, that guy, you know. Experienced fabricator and engine builder, especially with Hondas.
All right, Jimmy 2's chance, the Mitsubishi Evo 9 Team EXE OTR. He'd gone a best of a minute 40.048. Now, look, to get second place on the podium, he will have to go quicker than Stephen Wan's minute 39.94. So, look, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, Ian.
Yeah, these guys they're another a long-standing team up from Victoria, and they've slowly got this car quicker and quicker every year, and nothing would surprise me here. But I still don't think they're going to have the pace of the elusive Honda team.
Jimmy 2 rolls it through for his Super Lap shootout lap, third on the podium. Let's cross down to George Madicki with the amazing lap from the elusive racing team of Brett Dickey.
Well, what a story. Surprise winner, Brett Dickey. I mean, I know your whole team's been saying you know you're capable of it, but you say you took the rev limiter out there and just gave it everything.
Yeah, I don't know what it revved to then, and we'll let the engine builder worry about that later. But I can't say thank you enough to everyone from Elusive Racing and M-Tron and all our sponsors. Up until this morning, we had only done one lap. And even this morning at 9 o'clock it caught fire. So these guys did an amazing effort and got it back out there, and I don't know what to say.
So that's all run and done. The V Sport Club Sprint results for 2018. Brett Dickey, Stephen 1, Jimmy 2, Daniel Burton and Jamal Assad, our top 5. An amazing result for the Club Sprint category, and more for next year, I'm sure. That man, Adam Kazmiri, well, he's got one hand on a three-peat, Ian Baker. What can he do?
Yeah, well, this is going to be real weather dependent, you know. There's the two GDRs of Matt Longhurst and the Stephen Johnson WVT car are both on kill now, and I think they'd be hard. They could be right up there if the weather holds off, but it's looking like it's starting to sprinkle. So yeah, it's hard to say at this point, Chris.
Stephen Johnson, well, he had Dick Johnson, of course, down there in the pits. It was so good to see. Dicky does appreciate the engineering in these cars. Stephen Johnson absolutely loves it, even though it's raining out there. The GDR, well, what do you do with 1,000 horsepower and four-wheel drive? I suppose you just got to throw caution to the wind. Now, look, he'd have to go better than a 29... then his 29.416 is not going to do it.
It's a damn track now, Chris. You won't see it, unfortunately. And the weather conditions play such an important part in this sport, you know, that if the weather conditions are perfect, the times will just drop right across the board, you know. So, unfortunately, these poor guys, you know, it's come in just before the Super Lap shootout, and I think that's what we're going to see now. It's going to the wind's going to go to JDM Yard without question.
Geez, Nathan Morecambe still looks quick in the wet, does he not?
Yeah, he's a good driver, that guy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, minute 29.416 was as quick as he went on a dry track. Here he is in the rain and goes minute 30, 8.85, still no slouch in the wet here.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's an incredible time for a wet track.
That's great there from Nathan Morecambe, but we'll not get him on the podium now. Matt Longhurst, look at the rain. That car with that engine and this track is not an ideal combo.
I've got to tell you something, Chris. I feel so sorry for this guy. These guys have been through 3 engines. They've worked. I've seen them. They've been sleeping in the pits. They've worked around the clock, and they've finally got the car on kill, and then the weather's torn it out of them. So, you know, I mean, I just feel so sorry for him. They've got, they had a potential, that car could potentially win for sure, and, you know, I don't want to take it away from JDM Yard, but you've got to feel sorry for these guys in the rain now, you know.
Oh, that billet RB sounds so sweet. Maybe next year, Matt Longhurst, on ideal conditions, will get the full potential out of this car, even in the rain. Minute 37.095, that'll be the end for Matt Longhurst. He will be on the podium with a previous minute 28.665, but right now no one's going to improve, you would have to say. And Josh Coote, what do you do with a VR38 and a Toyota 86 and rear-wheel drive in the rain?
Yeah, this car's also well over 1,000 horsepower on a damn track that'd just be diabolical, you know. You got to feel for these guys. They're just going to nurse that around. There's no point pushing any further because you're not going to better the time today. So
he's trying to do a bit of a Tarzan Yamada by the look of it.
Well, he was actually accomplished. He was quite an accomplished drift driver before he started this. So he's probably putting on a bit of show for the crowd.
Oh boy, it's got plenty of horsepower, just can't use it all, and that's what's been the story all weekend. These showers, all the best preparation, then all you're going to do is have a shower at the wrong time. He goes through on his Super Lap at a minute 57, so not representative, but still second place. All right, well, this man's a bit of a master, but what do you do with 800 plus horsepower on a front-wheel drive Civic? We'll have to see what Adam Kazmiri can do for us.
Well, he is a rally driver, Chris, so you never know what he'll do. But like I said, I think that the times are over for today. They're just out there circulating around now, and they're going to JDM Yard, and well-deserved win for these guys.
They're all smiling down there. They know that minute 27.75 that he's done on the dry track will be enough to get on the top there. Look, he's still spinning the tyres there, going through the gears.
I will say, Chris, I think if this was dry track now, you would see a sub 27 out of this car too.
There you go, the crew love it. Adam Kazmiri has done it, a three-peat. No one's really done that before with a Honda Civic. We're creating history here at the World Time Attack Challenge. Adam Kazmiri, minute 27.75, top of the podium. Josh Coote, Matt Longhurst, Nathan Morecambe and Stephen Johnson, the top five as a result of the Neil on Super Lap shootout. No jumping in positions, but you know what? That just whets the appetite for next year, Ian.
Congratulations, Adam Kazmiri. You are now three-time World Time Attack Open Class champion.
Oh, thanks. Means a lot to me and all the team that's been involved. JD Edmard, of course, hard racer, has been helping us out for the last few years. Phil Armour, Murray Coop with the suspension set up this weekend has helped a lot as well. So thanks to everyone.
The Neil on Super Lap shootout's been giving us mixed results. Let's see what happens in the Royal Purple Pro-Am final shootout. There's our Canadian driver. And what can you say about the Vibrant team? Such a professional team, Ian.
Yeah, it looks like the rain's backed off a bit now, but it's still going to be a damn track, so you're not going to see any records set here, unfortunately, Chris. But look, it gives these guys one more show for the crowd, I guess. So these guys have come a long way, and hey, if nothing else, it's a big thank you.
So we've got Canadians, we've got Swiss in here as well. It's going to be a great top five in the Super Lap shootout. Eddie Jung from Team Singapore with his amazing RX-7. He's caught the time attack bug, and that's a big effort to bring that all the way from Singapore. Two-car team, the Tunes Motorworks team.
Yeah, they bought him and his mate bought two cars out, and they've had a hell of a weekend. They've had smiles on their face all weekend. This car here is actually an ex-Nismo Super GT car, Chris. We had it on display last year, doing display laps with the REM and me RX-7, and Dale Malone, the owners, decided to enter it this year in Pro-Am. So they've had a hot, tumultuous weekend with engine failures and so on. But yeah, he's got it back out here again. Another one that worked around the clock, and hey, yeah, they're back out there having a good time.
The motoring history with this car, you certainly don't want to push it in a rain-affected Super Lap shootout. Dale Malone, a fantastic vehicle. So good to see him there. Richard Perini, the PR Technology Ginetta G55.
Yeah, this was an interesting one that the PR guys rung me and said they wanted to run, and I said, this is really for street cars, you know, and they come up with all the information saying that these vehicles, showing me that these vehicles were available in street registered form in the UK, and so we decided to let it run.
You know what, the variety is the spice of life, and I've never seen a Ginetta G55. I think a lot of fans here have never seen one before either, so again, a lot of people going away seeing stuff they didn't see the year before. Richard Perini, he'd already run an amazing minute 33.134, and with the semi-dry track, minute 39.326 won't change in position. I can't believe it. Cersei's back out.
Yeah, this is another one that, like I said, they had all the mechanics turn up to help them. They've worked all day. You know, the pit garage was full at one stage, but yeah, they got the car back out there, Chris, and they're having another go.
Geez, I tell you what, the track looks quite favourable right at this moment. It's amazing that, 5 minutes ago it was probably sprinkling. We've got the sun out right now. Cersei's not giving up, Ian. Yeah. He hasn't had enough laps around here. I think he's getting a feel for it. He looks very quick through there.
You know, I was talking to Luffy about it yesterday though, and he said once it's been wet like that, you know, it takes hours to get it back to a totally dry track. So yeah, unfortunately, I just can't see us setting any records from here on in. But
well, I'll tell you what's happened. Look, and Olivia's very happy. Cersei goes a minute 31,
well,
7.75 a PB.
Best. Yeah, that's a PB. That's fantastic.
Wow. All right, here he is. William L. Jung, the vibrant PZ tuning Honda Civic from Canada. He is the fastest man in time attack in America and Canada, and it's a front-wheel drive Honda Civic. How about that?
Yeah, this car's got quite a cult following in the US, and it's his second year out here. You know, these guys are so passionate. He comes out here with his wife and just a very small team, and you know, they've really got an act with this stuff, you know, so.
It's so good to see the late model Honda Civic shape be turned into a time attack car so quickly. I'd almost say current shape Honda Civic flying through with that Honda K24 power. Semi-dry track, minute 34.062. His best so far had been a minute 27.935. So, yeah, the track wasn't there for him on that, you would say. Yeah. But the Super Lap shootout, of course, with no Costa there, he still takes it as the quickest ever Pro-Am run too. Minute 24.630. William, minute 27.935. Cersei, a PB. I can't wait to see if they can come back again from Switzerland in the future. Richard Perini, minute 33.134 for fifth. And Dale Malone, minute 36.376 for fifth. It's now down to George with the winner.
Yeah, well, they say no pain, no gain, and there's a whole lot of pain here, mate. Obviously, Costa Porokov, you're back at the track after being at the hospital. You were telling me a broken rib?
I got a cracked rib. Yeah, just a cracked rib and a bruised knee. and a bruised knee, so it's not too bad.
Well, a cracked rib and a bruised knee, but you are the 2018 World Time Attack Pro-Am champion. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank Ian Baker for holding this amazing event. I want to thank my team. I think I've got the best team in the world, to be honest. They've always had faith in me. The car was fast. It was a great setup. And I want to thank my wife for not killing me when she saw me too.
You've got to make sure you thank your beloveds, and Costa's done the right thing there, the quickest ever Pro-Am time. All right, well, with no Porsche fronting for the Super Lap Shootout and no Hammerhead, the stage was set for Under Suzuki, and what can he do with a car he's never driven before?
This is absolutely incredible, Chris. I don't think he's ever driven a four-wheel drive car before, and he's just out there hammering tongs, you know. This guy's a legend now, you know. He's the face of time attack racing around the world, you know. Under Suzuki, it's the guy everyone wants to see, and yeah, here he is.
If he had to be a captain of Team Japan, you'd have to say it's Under Suzuki. I know Tarzan's a little bit older, but Under definitely has forged his name more in Australia here than, of course, all his conquest with Scuba, of course, in Japan. But have a look at this. In Fire Ando's amazing Escort Racing Evo Lancer. It's a tough-looking thing. He's pushing old Under. Woo!
He's gone under second time. This will be a fast lap for him.
Under Suzuki, I don't know how quick Fire Ando managed to do this weekend in the car. He didn't get too many laps.
He did a minute 31, so I think Under Suzuki will take it with this lap.
Well, minute 31 for Fire Ando up till now. What will Under Suzuki do?
This is his third ever lap in the car, Chris.
He's doing very well for himself. I hope he doesn't get converted to a four-wheel drive vehicle. I think he's stuck. He's definitely going to stick with his Sylvia. Look at Fire Ando. He's an expectant father looking at the increments.
Yeah.
He's very excited. What can Under Suzuki do? 2 corners to go. And you know what? This man's so quick around this track, considering this ain't his home track. This is a real foreign track to him. He does about 20 laps a year over the last 5 years.
Yeah, but he's driven around here quite a bit, Chris. He knows the track well. You know, he might know the car, but he knows the track. And let's see what he does.
Under Suzuki, what will he do at the end of the Super Lap Shootout? How about that?
A minute 27.5, that's incredible in a car he's never driven.
Minute 27.558 with virtually no seat time in that car, all because you just thought, wouldn't it be cool to see Under in Fire Ando's car, and it happened.
Well, you got to admit it was pretty cool, Chris, wasn't it?
Very cool indeed. History created here in 2018. Barton Mawer, the first ever minute 19. What an amazing lap. Warren Luff, the Hammerhead, minute 21.398. And Under Suzuki and Fire Ando, Team Japan in third.
Barton Mawer, congratulations, mate. It is the realisation of the potential of this car, mate. A lot of hard work for you guys over the last couple of years. Just tell us how it feels.
It feels a bit surreal, to be honest. As you know, these guys have been through so much. It's their 4th year attempt. It's no overnight success. And we've known these cars have potential. We've all known that, everyone who follows World Time Attack. And to finally deliver a sub-20, yeah, it's good.
If that man didn't need anything more on his CV, congratulations to the team. Congratulations to Team Japan as well. Ian Baker going down to the podium to celebrate. Thanks for your commentary. It's now down to Toshi Hiyama.
Okay, so you're here with Under Suzuki and team captain director of Fire Ando. He's been promoted. どうでした? 127.
まだいけますけど。
He says he can go more.
だけどね、1ラップで行くのはもうマキシマムやりました。
He's the most he could do in 1 lap. I mean, that was the best he could do. Ando さん、どういう気持ちですか? How do you feel?
いやでもね、あのウエイトで初めてのねアタックラップで27秒台をね出すなかなかですよ。
He's to go out in a car for the first time in those wet conditions and to put out a 27. It's really hard to do that. You just can't do that. He's so happy that Under Suzuki was able to good performance. But I just said both of you are one team today. So it was Team Japan, an act of generosity, an act of just pure skill. Under Suzuki, Fire Ando. Let's hear it from him again.
Oh, thanks, Toshi. Amazing scenes here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Don't you love moments that you just make up? Even Skippy the Bush Kangaroo loves it. Our podium for our club sprint winners, and tell you what, Brett Dickey, what an amazing celebration. What an amazing lap at the Newline Super Lap Shootout. Link ECU open podium, great one from Adam Kazmiri. A three-peat, that little Honda, almost unstoppable. And who can unseat the king in 2019? The Pro-Am category, well, how about that? Costa, a bittersweet victory, breaking the Pro-Am mark into the minute 24s, but then also bending the car in an attempt to go quicker, but hopefully he'll be back next year. And what can you say about the amazing team, RP968 with Barton Mawer putting a minute 19 down, and the celebrations on the stage for the CEO of World Time Attack, Ian Baker. Well, the champagne was flowing and Team Japan made sure that they got him. Well, that's it for another amazing event here at Sydney Motorsport Park, the Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge presented by Track Warrior. We'll see you all again next year as the never-ending pursuit for that one perfect lap continues.
Coming up after the break, we return to Lakeside Park in Brisbane for our continued Round 3 coverage of the High Tech Oils Australian FX Superbike Championship.